On a silent night, a watchful-eyed child stares at the bedroom ceiling, unable to sleep. Her heart pounds with a strange and familiar feeling at the same time, as if something bigger is trying to communicate with her. While the rest of the house sleeps peacefully, this child feels an invisible call, a restlessness that she cannot explain, but that has always been there. Have you ever been through something like this? Have you ever felt like your life was taking a different path, even when you were still little? Many people report that since childhood, they have experienced events or sensations that seem to indicate an unusual destiny. Perhaps it was a deep feeling of connection with something beyond the physical world, an early wisdom, dreams that seemed like messages or even challenges that forced premature maturity. But what does this really mean? Be part of our spiritual family. Subscribe to the channel today and comment "I believe" below as a symbol that you accept your role in this great transition. Let your energy be counted among the chosen. The time is now. If you have had these experiences, there is a strong possibility that your life has a special purpose. Throughout history, many spiritual figures, leaders, and visionaries have reported signs from childhood that indicate a divine calling. These signs do not appear by chance. They are marks left on your journey so that, at the right time, you awaken to your true mission. But how do you know if you have been chosen by God? What distinguishes those who carry this purpose from others? That's exactly what we're going to explore here. There are 5 clear signs that may have appeared in your childhood and that reveal that your life is destined for something much greater than you imagine. By understanding these signs, you will have more clarity about your journey and understand that nothing that happened was by chance. Every event, every emotion, and every challenge were essential parts of building who you really are. Get ready to discover the truth about yourself and take the first step towards accepting your calling. Your journey is just beginning. It's time to regain your strength and build a new path. Subscribe to the channel and be part of this community that is awakening to the truth. Shall we start? Divine choice and purpose, the signs in childhood that indicate a special calling. Since the dawn of humanity, the belief that some people are chosen for special missions has permeated different cultures and spiritual traditions. But does this choice really exist? If so, how can we identify it? Many historical and religious accounts point out that those who were called to something great showed signs from a very early age. Children who demonstrated beyond average intelligence, unusual sensitivity, or who experienced extraordinary challenges often became remarkable figures throughout history. But what do these signs really mean? To better understand this concept, we need to go back in time and analyze concrete examples of individuals who changed the course of humanity. One of the best-known examples in the Judeo-Christian tradition is that of Moses. According to biblical accounts, he was born in a time of persecution and had his life miraculously spared. Raised in the Pharaoh's palace, he was educated like a prince, but from an early age, he demonstrated a sense of justice and compassion that set him apart from others. History shows that his childhood was marked by events that indicated a special calling, preparing him to free the Hebrew people years later. Another emblematic case is that of Siddhartha Gautama, better known as Buddha. Born in India around the 6th century BC, his childhood was surrounded by signs that his destiny would not be common. There are reports that sages predicted that he would become a great spiritual leader. Despite growing up surrounded by luxury, he felt deeply disturbed by human suffering, a feeling that led him to abandon everything to seek enlightenment. Jesus Christ is also a classic example of someone whose destiny was revealed from childhood. The Gospels report that at the age of 12, he was already discussing sacred teachings with priests in the temple, demonstrating an unusual knowledge and spiritual connection for his age. These cases show a pattern. Individuals who played a transformative role in history often displayed special characteristics from an early age. But what does this mean for you? Many spiritual traditions assert that those who have a higher purpose receive clear signs from childhood. These signs can appear in different ways, such as a strong sense of intuition and precocious wisdom, revealing dreams or premonitions, a feeling of not belonging, as if they were displaced from the world around them, challenging experiences that forced accelerated maturation. Science also contributes to this discussion. Studies of gifted and highly sensitive children show that about 10% of the world's population has a level of emotional and cognitive perception well above average. These children often feel different from their peers and have a strong need to understand deeper questions about life. Furthermore, research from American Psychological Association, APA, indicate that people who have experienced adversity in childhood tend to develop greater resilience and a stronger sense of mission in adulthood. This means that the difficulties faced may actually be part of training for a greater purpose. If the signs were present in your childhood, it may indicate that you were prepared for a special calling. But how to identify this path? Reflect on your trajectory. What were the memorable events of your childhood? Were there times when you felt different, misunderstood, or directed by a greater force? Notice your talents and passions. Often, the purpose of life is directly linked to the gifts we receive. What do you do naturally well? What motivates you? Seek knowledge and self-development. Historical figures who had a special calling never ignored the signs. They sought answers, studied and prepared for their mission. Throughout history, those who were called to transform the world did not ignore the signs they received. On the contrary, they accepted their role and allowed their purpose to guide their lives. If you notice these milestones in your childhood, perhaps it's time to look at your journey with new eyes. You have been chosen. Now, it's up to you to find out what your mission is. It's time to regain your strength and build a new path. If this video is making sense to you, don't stop here. Click to subscribe now and discover the next step towards your transformation, spirituality and destiny. Is your journey already traced for a greater purpose? Since time immemorial, different civilizations and spiritual traditions have believed that the life of each human being does not happen by chance. If everything were random, why are some people born into privileged circumstances while others face challenges from an early age? Why do certain people feel from childhood that they have a mission to fulfill? The answer to these questions may lie in the notion of spiritual destiny. According to this view, each individual arrives in the world with a unique purpose, outlined long before their birth. But is our trajectory really already written, or do we have the power to shape it, destiny as a planned path? Many religious and philosophical traditions defend the idea that life follows a pre-established plan. The concept of predestination appears in several beliefs, suggesting that each soul comes into the world with a specific goal. In Christianity, for example, there are biblical passages that talk about a divine purpose for each person. In the book of Jeremiah 1:5, God says, "Even before I formed you in your mother's womb, I already knew you. Before you were born, I had already consecrated you." This indicates that each individual carries a mission that transcends human understanding. In Hinduism and Buddhism, the notion of karma and dharma, it also suggests that everyone is born into a specific context for spiritual reasons. Karma represents past actions that shape present life circumstances, while dharma refers to the spiritual duty of each person in the world. This means that regardless of the difficulties or privileges someone is born with, there is learning necessary for their growth. In Spiritism, Allan Kardec, in the Spirit's book, published in 1857, teaches that the spirit chooses its tests before reincarnating, planning the challenges and opportunities you will face. For this doctrine, nothing happens by chance. Each event in life is part of a divine plan for the improvement of the soul. These beliefs reinforce the idea that no one is here because of a mistake of fate. If you feel like there is something greater guiding your journey, perhaps it is because, in fact, your life already has a defined purpose. Free will. Can we change our destiny? If everything is mapped out, does that mean we have no control over our choices? This is a common doubt when we talk about spirituality and destiny. Despite the existence of a greater plan, most spiritual traditions affirm that human beings have free will, that is, the ability to make decisions. Life may have already defined directions, but individual choices determine how each person travels that path. Imagine a traveler who receives a map before leaving. This map shows the final destination, but does not determine the exact steps he will take. He may take shortcuts, take detours, or even stop for a while. The arrival point may be defined, but the journey depends on the choices along the way. Likewise, our lives may have key events planned, but how we face them depends on the decisions we make. Signs that indicate a higher calling. If each person has a purpose, how can we identify the signs that their journey has already been mapped out? Here are some common clues reported by those who have discovered a higher calling. Inexplicable synchronicities and coincidences. Have you ever felt that certain events happened at the exact moment to change your trajectory? Many people report unexpected encounters, opportunities appearing at the right time, or messages appearing when they need them. Most, revealing dreams and strong intuitions. Some people have dreams that seem to carry deep messages or foresee events before they even occur. Difficulties that shape your character. If you faced intense challenges from an early age, these obstacles may have been placed in your path to strengthen you. A strong sense that you have a special role in the world. If since you were little, you feel like you were born for something greater, this could be an indication that your life is not ordinary. These signs are not mere coincidences. For many, they are signs that life follows a defined purpose, and recognizing these patterns can help to better understand one's own mission. Destiny and spirituality in modern life. But how to apply this understanding in everyday life? We live in a world where many people feel lost, searching for greater meaning in their experiences. Spirituality can be a powerful path to finding that purpose again. Some practices help to strengthen the connection with spiritual destiny, such as meditation and prayer. Taking time to reflect and connect with your essence can bring profound answers. Study and self-knowledge. Seeking to understand your history, talents, and challenges can reveal important patterns about your path. Acts of service and compassion. Many people discover their purpose by helping others. The impact we make on the world can be one of the greatest revelations about our calling, opening to the signs of life. The more attention we pay to coincidences and opportunities that arise, the more we are able to see the direction that the universe offers us. The idea that our trajectory is already marked by a greater purpose does not mean that we should simply wait for everything to happen. On the contrary, it means we have an internal compass guiding us to where we need to be. If your life has been marked by signs, intuitions, or challenges that have shaped your essence, perhaps it is time to accept that you are not here by chance. Your destiny has already been designed, and it is up to you to live it with awareness and purpose. Share this knowledge with the world. Together we can spread this message and help more people become free. Subscribe to the channel and send this video to anyone who needs to hear this truth. Resilience and singularity. The path to spiritual growth. Since the beginning of time, those who stood out for their inner strength and ability to overcome have left profound marks on humanity. Great spiritual leaders, thinkers, and visionaries went through intense adversity before fulfilling their missions. But why is the path of those who have a special calling full of challenges? If we look at nature, we see a recurring pattern. The strongest trees are those that face intense winds. Gold must pass through fire to become pure, and the butterfly must struggle to emerge from its cocoon before reaching its full form. The same happens with the spiritual journey of every human being. Given this, an essential reflection arises. What if the difficulties we face are actually tools for our growth? If every obstacle is a stepping stone that leads us to a stronger, wiser version of ourselves? Resilience as a fundamental element of spiritual evolution. The word resilience comes from physics and refers to the ability of a material to return to its original form after experiencing extreme pressure. In the human context, it means the ability to go through difficult periods without losing your essence, finding the strength to continue. In spiritual teachings, resilience is often portrayed as an indispensable attribute for those who have a special mission. The reason? Every great purpose requires preparation, and that preparation often comes in the form of challenges. Examples of overcoming in history. If we analyze some of the most influential figures in spirituality, we will notice a pattern. Everyone went through profound difficulties before fulfilling their purposes. Moses, before freeing his people, he lived years of exile in the desert, dealing with uncertainty and isolation. Buddha, he renounced luxury and faced great hardships before achieving enlightenment. Jesus Christ, he went through persecution, rejection, and intense suffering, but remained faithful to his mission. Mahatma Gandhi, he faced arrests and violence, but never abandoned his commitment to non-violence and justice. What do these stories teach us? That pain and difficulties are not signs of failure, but of preparation. Difficulties as part of the spiritual plan. If adversities are part of growth, how can we change our view of them? First, you need to understand that no difficult experience happens by chance. What may seem like a setback today may, in the future, prove to be a fundamental piece in building your purpose. In several spiritual traditions, there is a common concept. Suffering is not a punishment, but a tool for transformation. No, Christianity, the idea of carrying one's own cross, symbolizes the need to face challenges to achieve true faith. No Buddhism, suffering is seen as a teacher, showing the path to detachment and enlightenment. No Hinduism, challenges are seen as ways to clear karma and accelerate the evolutionary process of the soul. No Spiritism, trials are planned before incarnation as a form of learning and growth. In other words, difficulties may be shaping you for something much bigger than you can see at the moment. To not miss any message from God, click the subscribe button. Write "I'm ready" in the comments and start aligning your energy with the transformation that is coming. The uniqueness of each path. In addition to resilience, another fundamental factor in spiritual growth is uniqueness of each journey. No life is the same as another. Each individual carries unique experiences, specific challenges, and exclusive gifts that make them essential to the world. Often, people try to fit into standards imposed by society, forgetting that they were created with their own characteristics for a reason. If you've ever felt like you don't quite fit into conventional standards, this could be a sign that your path is different and that there's something special in store for you. Great visionaries have always been considered different before being recognized for their genius. Think of personalities like Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, or even artists like Van Gogh. What united them? They accepted their uniqueness and followed their own path. In the spiritual realm, this acceptance is even more crucial. Each person carries within them specific talents that must be used to fulfill their mission. Accept difficulties and embrace who you are. Given all of this, an essential question arises. How can we develop resilience and accept our uniqueness without fear? Here are some ways to strengthen your spirit in the face of challenges. Change your perspective on challenges. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask yourself, "What can I learn from this?" Cultivate faith in something greater. Whatever your belief, trusting that there is a purpose for everything can bring strength in the most difficult times. Don't compare your journey to others. Everyone has their own path, and trying to follow in someone else's footsteps can lead you away from your true mission. Embrace your differences. What makes you unique is exactly what the world needs. Accept your individuality as a gift, not a limitation. Be patient with your own growth. Everyone's time is different. Just as a seed takes years to become a leafy tree, its evolution also has its own rhythm. The strength is within you. Being chosen for a greater purpose does not mean having an easy path. In fact, it can mean exactly the opposite. But if we look at the greatest figures in history, we will realize that those who faced the greatest adversities were also those who left the most significant legacies. Resilience and acceptance of one's uniqueness are powerful tools for those seeking to understand their spiritual journey. Facing difficulties with courage and embracing what makes you different can be the definitive step towards fully living your purpose. Remember, you are not alone. Every challenge, every obstacle, every moment of uncertainty is part of something bigger. The important thing is to move forward, knowing that the strength you need is already within you. If you feel this calling within you, subscribe to the channel and write "I am chosen" in the comments. Declare that you are ready to receive what is already in store for you. The call to understand your purpose. From the beginning of this journey, we explore signs that may indicate a greater purpose, the challenges that shape the chosen ones, and the importance of accepting your uniqueness. Now we come to the crucial moment. What will you do with this knowledge? Many go their entire lives without noticing the signs that surround them, ignoring opportunities that could change everything. But those who awaken to their true mission see the challenges differently. Instead of seeing obstacles as punishments, they understand that they are training for something greater. Recognizing the signs and moving forward. Life always gives signs that we are on the right path. Perhaps you realized from childhood that you were different, more sensitive, or more inquisitive. You may have experienced hardships that seemed unfair, but made you stronger. Maybe you have a constant feeling that there is something bigger waiting for you. Did you identify with this? So it's time to stop doubting and start taking action. But how can we transform this recognition into something concrete? Here are 3 fundamental steps for those who feel a higher calling. Develop your spiritual awareness. No matter your belief or religion, the first step to understanding your purpose is to expand your perception of the spiritual world. This can be done through studies, meditation, prayers, or simply reflecting on your trajectory and the patterns that repeat in your life. Use your gifts to impact the world. If you feel like you've been chosen for something greater, don't keep it to yourself. Your talents, your way of seeing life, and even your difficult experiences can be used to help other people. It can be through art, teaching, volunteer work, or any other means where you feel fulfilled. Don't wait for perfect circumstances. Many people spend years waiting for the ideal moment to act, but the truth is that there is no perfect moment. You will never have all the answers, and you will never feel 100% ready. The important thing is to take the first step and trust that each new step will bring more clarity. If you've made it this far, you're already on the right path. The fact that you seek to understand your trajectory and your role in the world is already proof that something inside you is awakening. The big question now is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you ignore it and continue living your life as before, or will you face this truth and take control of your destiny? The choice is yours. The call has already been made. The answer depends solely on you. The awakening continues. If this video opened your eyes to truths you had never seen before, imagine what else you can discover. Subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications so you don't miss any content that will transform your life.